It's the Bardic Beards, I guess, huh?
Yes, welcome.
Wow.
Welcome to our show. Our show that we decided to make
A few days ago.
about a week ago, I'd
About
say.
a week ago.
Yeah, because
roughly.
the reason why I called you and wanted to do this was because I was having a panic attack.
Okay.
And I think I told you this.
I
I told you I was having a few panic attacks.
Sure.
And I was just like, I need to think of something. And I was like, you know what, Sean? We should do a podcast. And you're like, you know what? I remember your exact words. We got shit to say.
And hopefully we do.
Yeah, we get on camera. So this is our show.
We're awkward.
And goodbye. I like pizza.
I think we could do a little better than that. Maybe not much.
Maybe not much, but that was the reason I wanted to do it, because I was just like, I need to do something different.
That's totally fair. We talked about it like once or twice before.
But that was like the tipping point of like, I want to do something different to help get my mind off of things.
Yeah.
So, but don't worry, I'm okay now. I promise. I was just having a mini panic attack then, but
He might break down.
yeah, I might break down right now. Yeah, he's not wrong. So, all right. Well, I guess we should first introduce ourselves.
Probably.
My name is Evan, and that's Sean.
This is Sean.
Sean is going to be doing all the hard work and being the pretty face.
This is my bad setup and pretty face.
And I'm the voice.
He does have that.
That's all I have.
Lots of scotch at his young age.
Yeah, that and cigarettes. Ugh.
That's not true.
I'm from Florida, but he's right.
Born and raised. Huh?
Born and raised, yes.
Yeah.
But I did not smoke cigarettes, and I don't smoke cigarettes. So yeah, you're disclaimer.
The best Florida man.
Hey, you gotta explain when you're from Florida. There's certain things, like we were talking about just a few minutes ago, rite of passage. And there's a lot of Florida man rite of passages, and I can gladly say I did not do a lot of those because some of those are illegal.
So you're not a real Florida man?
No.
Despite
being born and raised in the same county I live in currently right now.
Wow.
Which will remain nameless for the time being.
Did not know that, actually. I figured you traveled over a little bit of Florida.
No, not at all.
Interesting.
I live in the same house I grew up in. Well, mostly. I've lived in a couple different houses, but yeah, I've lived in the same county. Yes.
I am the opposite of that.
I know. Yeah, you're
born in Vegas.
Yeah.
Right. My parents traveled a lot when I was a kid, collecting animals and selling them at trade shows.
Can you, real quick, talk about how your parents met? Is that okay?
Yeah, totally.
It's like this is treading on any line.
Yeah,
okay?
No, it's cool. I'll leave out some of the back stories.
That's fine.
Yeah.
They don't want. Nobody really wants to know that.
But both my parents have always been like into animals, like forever, right?
Yeah.
My mom's parents owned a chain of pet stores.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, all the way from like Florida to Ohio.
Damn.
Quite a few of them.
Okay.
Yeah, Jack's Aquariums.
Okay, I was going to say, was it called PetSmart?
No.
Actually, you know what? I think you did tell me this at one time. Long time ago,
maybe.
Yeah.
Early 90s. My mom has her own store.
Okay.
In the Orlando area.
Does she still?
No.
Okay.
No, they sold the business.
Okay.
Some time ago, like before I was. Well, no, not before I was born, but before I can remember. My dad at the time was working for a pet store supply company. Like he drove a truck and delivered supplies to the pet stores, like fish food and crap like that. So that's how they met. Actually, they were both married at the time.
This is why I wanted you to bring it up. I love this story.
It's a very, very, very terrible people.
But it's okay though, because they're both good people who found
they
found good people together.
Indeed.
Found them. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
They fell in love, divorced their respective partners.
Yeah, they fell in love first, then divorced them.
It was, things don't always make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they fled out west.
Fled
is maybe not the right word, but
right.
They moved out west.
Okay.
And had me.
Okay.
Yeah. So I grew up mostly out west, but traveling all over. I started first grade in New Mexico.
Yeah.
But I went to 4 different schools in first grade.
Wow.
And by the end of that year, we were living in Georgia. right outside of Savannah.
So I have, again, like Sean said, I have the complete opposite upbringing. My parents met in high school, and had me, and then like you said, you traveled around. I didn't travel at all. I still currently am in the same house I was raised from the age of being a baby to 8.
Okay.
And then I moved to Fruitland Land. Yeah. Which, for the people who know us, is only like a mile or 2 away from where I'm at now. My dad still owns that house.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a whole other story I'm going to have to get into. Not now, but
sure.
You'll like the story about the house currently.
Yeah.
And then when my parents divorced, I think I was like 14, and then my mom remarried like maybe a year or 2 later, and then we moved in with my stepdad in the same city, only literally less than a mile away from where I used to live. And then I moved again to my original house, and then I finally moved out
into an apartment a mile away.
Into an apartment a mile away in the same city. And then now I'm back because of reasons, COVID not being one of them, but would have been one of them if I had
around the same time.
Yes, but it's just it's funny how the fucking world works, I guess. Yeah, I have moved a collectively of 5 miles apart from where I was born. So I was born in a different city.
Okay.
Which is the city that's right after Fruitland. Starts with an L. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So not very far away.
The next one over.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I know. And I'll probably die here.
We can only hope.
We can only hope. Yeah, in the next couple months. So.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, that's where Evan starts. And it's funny too that you say you were in the first grade in 4 different schools.
Yeah. In 4 different states.
I have been a total of in my K through 12 education in 3 different schools. So
like most people.
Yeah, yes, it's kind of complicated.
Okay.
Well, not really. I went to a Catholic school. Excuse me, Catholic school from K to 1. Or no, K to 2, excuse me.
Catholic school. I did not know that.
Yeah, or Christian school, excuse me.
Okay.
I should preface that. It was Christian. It was a Christian academy through K through 2. And then when 3rd grade started, that's when I went to the one school I went to from 3rd up until my senior year, which then I got kicked out of, not for bad reasons, for political reasons. Because of that school, my mother, in order to go to the school, you had to work for either the school or the city town the school was in, and my mom lost her job. Gotcha. So unfortunately, I couldn't finish out my senior year there, so
that
I went
sucks.
to. It really does.
They couldn't make an exception on that.
Nope. Asked them to. They flat out said no.
That blows.
Yeah. But it ended up working out in my favor because I went to a public school for the first time, because that was a charter school,
right? So
they could make their own rules. Going to public school, man, that was talk about the culture shock. Because I went to a public school that was a D-rated public school. I'm pretty certain still is a D-rated public school. This is now 11 years ago for me. And I got away pretty easy because I went from a 7 period a day, 7 classes a day, to 2 classes a day because I had enough credits from transferring over. And in Florida, I don't know if it's everywhere in the world or everywhere in the country, excuse me, but in Florida, you need 7 credits to graduate, or excuse me, not 21 credits. I think you need 23 credits to graduate.
Okay.
I had 21.
Okay.
It's something like that. I could be a little off.
Sure.
Again, it's been 11 years. And I had 21, so I had to take 2 classes, and then I could leave the rest of the day. So I got out of school at 10:30 every day. And I got to graduate in December.
I had a similar situation when I first moved to Texas from here, or well, from Georgia, which was the middle of my sophomore year of high school.
Right.
I was so far advanced in my classes in Georgia, and the educational system is so different that they wouldn't, when I got to Texas, let me take any of the advanced classes because I wasn't in a high enough grade.
Ooh.
But also, it was only 10th grade, so I couldn't have like half days, even though I had a job.
Right, yeah.
So I had, out of my 8 classes, 4 of them were banned.
Banned.
And we had like AB days, so it was 4 classes a day.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So 2 of my classes on A day and 2 on B day were banned. I spent half of my high school day.
Wow.
It's terrible.
That is terrible. Excuse me, going back to that, when I went to the one charter school, it was 7 period days.
Sure.
So 45 minutes, 7 blocks.
Short classes.
They were very short classes. I felt like you can get nothing done then.
Yeah, no kidding.
But my freshman year, and it was actually the second or third year that high school had been around, because those charter schools were all in the same charter, and they were all the same company, I guess, if you want to call it that, because they were essentially kind of a business.
Schools are.
Yeah. My freshman year was a block scheduling, and it was 4 periods, each, like, what, 90 minutes? No.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, with a home period first, which was not 90 minutes. So it was like 45 or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But I did a thing where because my mom drove me every day, I had 2 backpacks. For one for A day, one for B day.
That's smart.
So, and then I just found out recently, because my mom, she was a teacher there. So she still has friends that work there, and I talked to one of my old teachers who was her friend, and they've gone back to that since because of, I guess, the COVID and all that. So I was like, man, I was like, yeah, I like that. That was the best. Yeah. So, but after high school, I didn't do the traditional route. I think you didn't either, did you? A little bit. Okay, I can't remember. I was gonna say. Yeah. I know we've talked about it before, but I went to a tech school afterwards. Yeah. Believe it or not, looking at my beautiful physique, I was a firefighter at one point.
I'm gonna put that picture on the screen.
It's
pretty nice.
Oh, my firefighter pictures? Yeah, you should.
So, yeah,
you are more than welcome to. Just blur out my, know. But I did tech school for a year, because it doesn't take long to do it as long as you're doing it consecutively. Yeah. For the state requirement for firefighting in Florida, which is different than the rest of the country.
I'm sure it is.
It's one of the hardest.
Really?
There's 3 that are really hard. It's Florida, California, and New York.
Okay.
And
California makes sense.
No matter where you go to fire school, you cannot bring that to Florida.
You have to go again.
Yes, you have to go again. And California and New York are considered some of the 2 of the hardest. But firefighting is different there. So a New York firefighter, even though he's got some of the best education that you can get, still has to come down here and complete 4 months of school before he can work in Florida. Right. Which is ridiculous to me.
Crazy.
And it's the same thing with all medical training as well, for EMT and paramedic. Some other places in the country, there are EMT B and I. I don't know if this has changed, but B and I, basic for B, and then I for...
intermediate?
I think it's intermediate, yeah. But they could do a few more things that EMTs cannot do that paramedics can do. And that in Florida actually doesn't take very long to get, but you have to do it in night classes depending on where you go. So it's a 6-month course. Okay. Even though it's only like 226 hours.
It's just very split up.
Yeah, that's how I did it. I did it through night class, and I didn't like taking night classes. That sucked because
I'd be sleepy.
I went from essentially a paramilitary style training and firefighting, which is not a bad thing. It's a very organized, structured thing. I did that for 4 months consecutively to a 2 nights a week EMT class that's so lax. I'm like, what is this? So, and then I was a firefighter for 5 years during that time. So during school and then after.
Right. Good shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were a firefighter for that long.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the pay sucked.
Yeah, well, yes, that particular department, yeah.
Yeah.
Many firefighters listen, they'll know that it doesn't really suck, but depending on what department, yes, it does.
Sure.
I make way more now doing what I do now.
Yeah. One of the girls I dated in El Paso, her dad was
Mm-hmm.
a firefighter. He's whatever the driver is.
Engineer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was my last job, was an engineer.
Yeah.
I was an engineer for a couple of years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He makes enough to support a 5-person family on his
Yes.
own. Like,
yeah, my uncle, who I live with,
Mhm.
was a firefighter for almost 30 years. And yeah, I mean, it just all depends on what department you work for, really.
sure.
In Florida, we called them reserve departments, and up north, they would be called volunteer departments.
And you were too scared to move more than a mile away to a good department. And
No.
that's why-
It's not that. It's not that I was too scared. I would move for that.
Yeah.
No, what it is people want that job so much that nobody leaves it.
I see.
There's no turnaround.
Hmm.
Like a
Disney.
Yeah, exactly. There's no turnaround time there.
Sure.
It's you are there and you're there for years unless you move
Sure.
or you retire or you die. And most guys retire at 20 years.
Mhm.
Well, you can retire at 35 for
Sure.
the county that we're in right now. The hell was that?
I do not know.
You hear that, right?
Somebody next door, maybe.
Okay, we're gonna have to edit that out.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Nope. Staying in.
that's fine. So getting a job in any of the surrounding counties, it's like they got one spot open because one guy finally retired after 35 years.
So just really hard to move.
So exactly, and not only that, but during that time, that was around 2010 is when I graduated. So the housing crisis had happened 2 years before that. So a lot of these guys who were in the real estate business, guys and gals, excuse me, real estate business or insurance business or what have you, that lost those jobs were like, well, shit, I'm going to go to fire school and I'm going to become a firefighter because they make the same thing.
So there's a flood of fire.
Right. There was at that time, a flood of people trying to get jobs.
Sure.
So little old me, unfortunately, because I didn't have all the education I needed, because the counties that require now, they all require paramedic school as well, which is good, don't get me wrong, but it's a 13 months
Oh, God.
of school for like 4 days a week. 4 days a week. So you're basically becoming a mini doctor.
Yeah.
A mini doctor, it's not true. You're becoming a doctor on wheels, essentially. Yeah. So
And that's what drove you out.
That's not what drove me out, but that's what.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. What drove me out was the department. I won't get into that much, but no, that was. I don't want to say that was the excuse that held me back. It wasn't an excuse, but at the time, being 5 years in a volunteer department, essentially a volunteer department, and trying to, be on my own or whatever at the time. Yeah, I was trying to live on my own. I couldn't do that because I was also trying to work a family business job and it just wasn't working out. So I had to get a real job, and I got a real job at a big box store.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't float both.
Biggest one.
One of the biggest ones. Yes. I couldn't float both. So I resigned from the department because lo and behold, the other job paid better. And I just never went back. And then the thing with keeping your certifications up is you have to be working for a department to keep them up, and you have 5 years in order to get a job. That's because that's how bad it was. People would graduate and then they couldn't get a job. So the state was like, if you can't get a job in 5 years, you can recertify.
Wow.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. It's gone for me now.
Yeah.
And, 200 pounds later.
On the negative side.
On the negative side, yeah. Bad genetics do that to you. So.
Oh, man. Huh. All right.
Yeah.
I learned some stuff there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, that's kind of that in a nutshell.
My work history isn't as fun. When we moved to El Paso, from Georgia, my parents opened a pet store together.
So that makes sense.
Right, something they always kind of wanted to do, but never quite did. So that was cool. So that was my first job. It was fun. But it was a bullshit high school job that I didn't take seriously enough. So when I got out of there, it was a tire retailer.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest one in the country. I don't know for sure, but definitely one of the bigger ones.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I worked. What did I do? I was in charge of inventory there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So twice a week, I unloaded 600 to 1,000 tires and put them all away.
I can't imagine.
And I lost like 100 pounds doing that.
Yeah. It's funny, you lost weight. I gained weight.
Yeah, well, I'm right back where I was now, so
anyway.
we're pretty close to it. Thanks. Next job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. That was actually a really fun job.
Yeah. I remember you telling me you said you had a lot of good time.
Yeah, it was a cool work environment. Best boss I ever had by a long shot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about like how to work.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Which is
who'd have thought real jobs would teach you that?
Yeah, crazy. Yeah. But when we moved to Florida, I transferred.
Yeah.
So I was still with the company, but the one here, dog shit.
Oof.
Yeah. The managerial is a nightmare. They never leave their office, so everything else just kind of falls apart all day, every day.
Right.
And that got to be too much to bear. So that's why I left that job.
That was like my first retail job.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my first retail job, I was a coordinator of memberships for a big membership based grocery retail store.
Oh, you have it narrowed down to 2.
If you ever want to try to guess that, you can. It wasn't my first job there, though. Okay. Actually, I moved 4 positions in a matter of 2 years there.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Turnover and such.
Yeah, the turnover was great there. Yeah. But I first started out, it was my first real job at $9.30 an hour. Stocking the cooler, as they called it.
Yeah.
So whenever you walk by those big coolers, who stocks them?
Evan.
Evan did. Yeah, the poor kid having to wear jeans and a jacket in Florida during the summer.
There are worse fates.
There are worse fates.
That doesn't sound too bad.
If you ever get hot, you just go and hang out in the cooler for a little while.
Yeah.
And usually the guy who I worked with never really cared it because after that was a it wasn't part-time, it was seasonal. And they decided to keep me on, and at that time a part-time position opened up at grocery.
Yeah.
So grocery is not fresh grocery though. It's what's the word I'm looking for here? Non-perishables.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Sure.
So
they sell really big drums of stuff.
They sold giant drums of ranch. I promise you that.
My uncle got me one of those one year as a gag
I remember you told me that a long time ago.
And I loved it. It was
great. You know how when you walk past the big bags of rice, I do that every day. Because my job was to, I can't remember what they used to call it then. We call it laser lining now. But, bring it up to front.
Right.
Fronting up, I think that's what they called it or something like that, which is kind of stupid.
Facing.
Front facing everything, yeah. And I did that for 8 hours a day, part-time, was taking the big cardboard boxes and pulling them up with 90 cans of your vegetables and shit like that and pulling them up front and I was basically playing Tetris a lot of times.
Yeah.
And that is the truth, is trying to make it look nice and organized. Going through like 12 aisles and then going to lunch. Right.
Yeah.
So I would do that for 4 hours, take my 30-minute break,
and
then start all the way back at the front.
Because it had been ruined.
Yes. Because that is a busy store because of where it's located at. You know where it's located at. It's in a very, very busy part of the county.
No kidding. Yeah.
And people like it there.
Right off the main highway, flooded with
retirees. Yes. But man, that place gave me the worst. Oh man, it almost gave me ulcers after, because I got into my third position there, which was membership, customer service. So that's two things: customer service, returning shit, and then selling memberships.
Weird combo.
It's a very weird combo. And you worked at this desk and you wore nice clothes, business casual.
Okay.
And so people would come up and they would do their returns, but also people who had never shopped there or wanted to shop there would come in and buy membership. And this is where I learned my upselling techniques, or top-down selling techniques, as we refer to it. That's actually where I learned that I was a pretty good salesperson. Never had a sales job in my life before. Always did manual-ish labor, you know. And as it said, salespeople can't really, you know, you're either good at it or you're not.
And it's weird that like your first retail job will turn you from somebody who doesn't talk to anybody into potentially a really good salesperson.
Yeah, and who knew? Yeah, like
even without training.
Yeah, and it's funny too because I needed to get out of that section of the store, that department, because I had the worst. Think of the worst person alive as your team leader, and then a not so very nice person as their manager. You know, so shit rolled downhill a lot.
Sure.
Oh my god, it was a very bad situation.
As somebody who only front face shelves, you caught a lot of shit.
Oh yeah, like that's no joke.
That's terrible.
My particular team leader was, seriously, think of like one of the worst people you've ever met, and you had to work for that guy.
No.
Luckily, we don't have that now.
No, it's not as bad.
Yeah. Believe me, this is a cakewalk, what we do.
Fair.
Yeah, compared to working for that guy. So I needed to get out of that position. And I remember they just hired this new manager. And let me tell you, this guy was a cool guy. And he taught me a lot of cool selling techniques. And the first time I met him, I was like, hey, you know, I hear there's some positionings open up. I'd really like to get to learn that position. I'd never met the guy before, but I walked up and I said, this is who I am. I'm Evan Chamberlain, and I want to do this. And he goes, and later on he told me that furniture actually goes, I was hiring you right then. He's like, I knew right then and there I was going to hire you. I was like, oh, thank you for breaking my heart.
Wow, outgoing Evan.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I, again, needed to get out of there. I was going to quit.
Yeah.
So that, then onto the marketing side of that business, which was, they called it marketing. I don't know if it's a real particular set of marketing, but it's membership coordinating with other businesses.
Okay.
So I went to other businesses and sold their employees memberships, and I would call up these businesses and say, hey, you know, I'm so-and-so, and this is the time of year that we normally come around and renew your memberships.
Yeah. And
a lot of people would say no, and some people would say yes. I'll tell you what, there was one business, they had me come out like 8 times, and excuse me, I'd probably only get like 3 or 4 memberships each time, but everybody there was super chill. They're a particular pest control business around here that actually is near where we work now.
Yeah.
I think you might know who they are. But they had some great employees, so I'm going to say thank you to you if you're watching.
That's pretty cool.
I'm not going to say who you are, but yeah. No, they would have me out all the time, so at least it made me look busy.
I didn't know that was a thing there, that you would go and try to sell regular
memberships, yeah.
To people who worked at places.
Yeah. To their employees, yeah. Then they would do their business drive, where they would go and try to drive business memberships, so memberships for the business.
Right.
So
my parents had one of those.
Yeah, and they're not hard to get. They used to be hard to get, but then when my manager came in and he's like, do they work for themselves? Do they mow their own grass? They can qualify for a business. I'm like, okay, cool. So I would set up these same type of membership drives with the same companies and say, hey, we want to sign up for a business membership instead. It's cheaper than the premium membership, and you get all the same stuff as the premium membership.
You mean like get in early and shit? I believe.
Yeah, exactly. Huh. And then the place literally gave me ulcers, and I had to quit. So that was 2014.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, I applied for where I currently work, and I've been there for the last 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just had my 5 year.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. That's where we met.
Yeah.
And, yeah. For probably the biggest tech retailer, we'll say, in the world.
Country.
Maybe the world. Yeah, you're right.
And at least as far as those who have box locations, yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We used to work in the same department. That's how we met.
Yeah.
That's how we became friends.
Yeah.
We met before. Yeah. Turns out we had similar interests. Pokemon and... Well, not really anymore, but playing video games and just tech in general.
Totally.
So...
Yeah, it's been a good job.
Yeah.
I really like it there.
I mean, I've had worse jobs.
Totally.
As I just explained.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, my first job I got hired on at half the rate of yours.
That sucks.
Less than $5, boy.
Oof.
But it was under the table when I was in high school, so
Yeah. Well, I guess I could tell you about some of my other jobs that I've had too. I mean, go ahead though if you want to.
No.
Okay, so this is the
Evan show.
My unofficial resume.
Yeah.
I worked for a lot of stuff for family. My family owns various businesses. Or used to. My grandfather's finally retired. He's the person I work for the most. But my uncle, my other uncle, not the one I live with, he has had all kinds of business ventures, and I've done all kinds of stuff for him. I've done everything from kind of like landscaping work on his properties to actually not carpentry per se, but building in some of his buildings.
Handyman type of stuff.
Handyman type stuff, yeah. The condo he currently lives in, we gutted that entire thing and rebuilt it.
Nice.
Yeah, did that. What else? Oh yeah, he had a venture in with a couple other people, and it's not like when most people say, "Oh yeah, we went into a business venture," it sounds bad. This wasn't a bad thing. We did a corn maze once.
Okay.
During the fall time,
right?
And those things are big.
Oh yeah,
especially in the county that they had it in, and this is where I learned to hate people that I worked with, because it wasn't necessarily all people I knew.
Sure.
But my uncle hired a whole group of guys,
and
for the most part we were all on the same side, but the other management, because they had hired a management team, fucked us big time. Especially the first month we were there, we weren't paid because they didn't have any money to pay us.
Gross.
They were paying us $8 an hour in cash, so that was probably the most I ever made.
Sure.
Probably except now. Without taxes is what I'm saying. Yeah. I remember my first paycheck from there was like $1,100 for 2 weeks of work. Because I take that back. It wasn't the most money because I worked probably 15-hour days, 7 days a week.
Yeah. Rough work.
That was very rough work. I hated it. Yeah. I eventually quit. Even though it was a family venture, I quit.
Yeah.
I told my grandfather I can't keep doing this because I'm literally leaving to go home, shower, to wake up, to then drive all the way back.
I know how it feels. Yeah.
A fucking corn maze. That was probably the job I hated the most.
Didn't know corn maze venture was so lucrative though.
It's not. It was, I guess. It wasn't lucrative for me.
No.
For reference, though, that happened in 2011.
Yeah.
But I remember the first thing I bought with that paycheck was Skyrim. Okay. That's how I got into Skyrim. I don't know why that in my brain connects. So anytime I think of Elder Scrolls, sometimes I think of corn mazes. I know that's dumb, but it's true.
I know, that's funny.
Yeah, I know.
Association.
Yeah, I know, and I bought it on a whim too, because my other best friend, not you, I'm sorry, you're my best friend, but my other best friend, don't worry, you guys are friends too. He drugged me out to the GameStop that night to go get the game, and I had never heard of. No, I take that back. I had heard of Oblivion.
Okay, yeah,
and I played it a little bit. Yeah, but he's like, dude, it's a sequel. We gotta go get it.
Yeah.
All right, so we go and pre-order it. And he's like, are you gonna get a copy? I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I have $1,200 in my bank account right now. I guess I can afford it. So. Yeah. I was like, okay, sure, I'll get it. Oh my god. I think collectively I sunk 500 hours into that game easily.
I've played Skyrim for like 20 minutes.
That was my Oblivion experience.
I didn't get into it until like much later.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, this game looks crummy. Next.
It's the only game I've ever 100% gotten achievements on.
Okay.
Which is not easy. For anybody who knows Skyrim for like Xbox achievements, you have to reach level 80 just for this type of particular dragon to proct. And then there's another character, he's the Ebony Warrior. You have to get one of his artifacts, and again, it'd be like level 80 for it to proct into the game.
Yeah.
So yeah,
lots of hours.
Very proud of that achievement though, to get 100% in that.
I have 100% in very few games.
I made it a big point to do a lot of achievement hunting based on
You had to grow your e-dick on
Yes.
Xbox.
Well, look, man, I was, 18? Exactly. Very small. Yeah. I was 17, excuse me, and was like, video games. This is what I'm going to do for a living.
Sure.
So I'm like, I need
if
to make
only, right?
Yeah, if only. And the sad part is I have a few people I know that do that for a living.
No kidding.
Yeah, and they make good money doing it.
They do.
But they're also funny and good at games, whereas I am neither.
Gotta have one or the other.
Yeah, it's an ebb and flow. So.
Oh, that's funny.
But
good stuff.
Yeah,
I guess that brings us into hobbies then, huh?
Yeah. Since we're talking about gaming, I mean, I'm sure most people can say that's a hobby. I don't know. I don't really consider it a hobby for myself anymore, but I do play pretty often still. I mean, you have a Twitch channel.
Yeah.
So
sure thing. For me, I've always been like a Nintendo fanboy, so that's where most of my gaming comes in.
Nintendo fanboy. I'm looking at two. Nobody really can really see it, but I'm looking at two Mario posters right behind you, and a Dragonite poster.
Yeah.
That. I know who got that for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of our friends.
Yeah, one of our friends.
It's been sitting in the tube until
I know,
3 months ago.
I remember when he ordered it, he was like very excited for it. I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not like, it's blotched art.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
There's probably a more technical name for that, but
Yeah.
I don't know it. So,
and it's funny because I'm more on the artsy side than you.
Sure.
But yeah.
Oh, he was so mad because I left it at work on accident for like a week.
I'd be mad too.
Yeah.
Because I know
I felt bad.
I know he paid a lot for that.
Yeah, it wasn't cheap.
Yeah.
But he'd be happy now. I should send him a picture of that. Like, hey, I finally got around to...
Hasn't he been in here since then?
No, he moved. You might be thinking of the wrong person on accident.
Who am I thinking of?
It was Zach who bought me that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Marshall.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
When they're going to watch this, one's going to be angry and the other one's probably going to be angry.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. You're right. He did move.
Yeah.
We miss you, buddy. Don't worry. We do.
I really do.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, video games?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly Nintendo for me. You've always been an Xbox guy.
Oh, yeah. I've always been an Xbox guy. Well, not originally. When my dad got me into gaming, it was mostly PlayStation.
Okay.
And I had the original PlayStation. I remember playing on there the most, probably 007.
Okay. Yeah.
Not GoldenEye.
No, that was a N64.
That was an N64 game. I never played GoldenEye as a kid.
Oh man,
I'm one of the few that never did.
I've got it in that closet.
I was gonna say not over here because I was looking over here earlier, but you got it in there.
Yeah.
For the N64.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't challenge me to that game. I can't play it.
It's terrible to play now.
Yeah. I don't think these monitors, which are nice enough, can play that low a resolution now.
This one's pretty crummy.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. You want a CRT to experience it properly.
Yeah, to experience exactly.
I need to get a CRT for all my retro games.
Where can we find a CRT?
We live in retirement land. There's got to be one around here.
You're probably right.
I need to hit some garage sales or something.
Yeah. But I played mostly like I said, a lot of 007 games because there was a bunch of them at that time.
Yeah, that was a big franchise for a long time.
The first game I ever completed was on the PlayStation. That was the first Medal of Honor game.
Okay.
Yeah, so
nice.
that tells you I loved that game. And I remember that had some weird cheat codes in it. And remember when
cheat codes?
Remember when you had to buy books to use cheat codes?
What a shitty business!
Oh my god! How old are we?
Too old.
Too old, exactly. Yeah, what
I should have kept some of those.
I have a funny story about cheat code books here in a minute. I'll tell, but let me finish this part first. No, I'll go into that. Right. I was at a GameStop one time. This is years ago.
Remember GameStop? Just kidding. You're alive still.
You're still closing 500 stores here soon. I'm sorry. I was at a game store once, or GameStop, and I remember overhearing the two clerks working at the counter talking about how they had some guy come in and asking if they could read some of the cheat codes from a game out of the book over the phone, and he goes, "No, I am not doing that." He's like, "If you want those, you can come in and buy the book." Oh, that was so funny.
That's amazing.
And the internet was pretty readily available at that time.
Sure.
But to think that we just die? Okay, good.
No, we should be good.
Okay, good.
Everything went to sleep, but we're good.
Yeah, we should probably move the mouse just a little more. Yeah. Anyways, to think that was a thing back then.
Ugh. That's gross.
I mean, like, I know video game magazines were a thing.
Yeah, but paying like $25 to $50 for a strategy guide for one game.
I did that.
I did that a couple of times.
Remember the games?
Majora's Mask was the first one I ever bought, and I don't remember the other one.
The one I know for sure was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Okay,
I don't know why, because
it's a big game.
I never completed it.
No.
And
nobody ever beats a Grand Theft Auto game. I guess they do now.
Not true. I did. This last one I did.
I guess they do now.
What was the other one I bought? I can't remember. But it didn't come in handy because I don't remember it, and I don't think I beat it. So what does it matter, I guess? But
had a Game Shark for my N64.
Wow.
Yeah.
It
was crummy.
I had Mad Cat stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I had. So your kind of equivalent for Nintendo was Mad Cats with a Z.
And they made controllers and stuff too.
Yeah, that was what I bought. I remember because my cousin broke my controller and pissed my mom off to no end because she had to go and buy me a new controller. I had a Mad Cats see-through red controller where you could see the rumblers for the vibration. That bitch was cool.
Yep.
I can't remember if that was my PlayStation 1 or 2. Probably like 2, I think.
I had a PS2.
Yeah,
one of my non-Nintendo consoles.
I love that console. I played the shit out of that thing. One of my favorite games was a Gundam game, where it was, I don't remember the name of it. I wish I do, but it was reenacting the original Gundam anime, in game style. So you played as Amuro Ray, as the main character, and had to fight Char. It's one of the things I love, by the way. For those who don't know me, is I love the original Gundam series, and there's another series called the MS 8th Team, which was a side story to their story. Those are my two favorite Gundam.
I really never Gundammed,
That's right, yeah, you never did you? Yeah.
It's a little before me.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
too,
it's before me too, yeah. I mean, we're almost the same age. I'm 28, you're 27, yeah, so we're old.
Unfortunately.
To other people we're old now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a little before both of us. You're right.
Definitely.
I caught that on Adult Swim, I think.
Okay.
Same thing.
My mom didn't like me watching Adult Swim.
No, I mean, adults. As a parent, me now knowing like Adult Swim, like I remember watching Cowboy Bebop, not really knowing what it was. I'm like, oh, they just said ass. That cartoon said ass. And now I'm like excited that they're making a live action version of that. By the way,
really?
You didn't know that?
I think you might have told me.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see that.
Oh, I would watch the shit out of that. But anyways, PlayStation 2, and then my dad had an Xbox. Okay. Original Xbox. Yeah. Not Xbox One.
No, the Xbox.
Original Xbox. And man, talk about broadening your horizons in video games, because my dad is a tour bus driver. Right. He's not home a lot because of his job. He drives mostly performing artists around the country. And so I got access to his Xbox when he wasn't home. Dope. So I got to play Halo Combat Evolved. So I'm sure every other gamer is out there saying the same thing. That's what they got him into shooters. But yeah. I mean, that was it. Like, Halo Combat Evolved, that blew my mind, playing that. And there was another Medal of Honor game that came out around the same time. I think it was Medal of Honor Frontline. Those are two big shooters that I loved for that console. At that same time, I tried to get into racing games too, because all the launch titles were out. Sure. So Halo was a launch title. Yep. There was some racing game. There's another. No, that was the 360. I'm blanking on a lot of those launch titles, but we had them and I played them. And then from there, I mean, like, it was Xbox only. Sure. Because I was just playing that, and my dad wasn't going to buy anything else. Plus the PlayStation 3 was almost $200 more.
It was more,
than the original Xbox.
They're doing that this time too. Crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're doing that again. Yeah.
It's a little more complicated than that, but
yeah, exactly. Because it's not like it. So when the PS3 and the Xbox 360 came out,
Yeah.
there was more technology in the 3.
Right.
But not by much.
Right.
It was the Blu-ray player.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Blu-rays won the Blu-ray. I was actually talking to somebody about that last night.
Sony.
And Sony, yeah. But then I had a 360.
Mm-hmm.
Was what I was going to get at. And then the 360 is what really launched me into achievement hunting and trying to complete every game and be more competitive. And I, for a time, was a little competitive in Halo 3.
Yeah.
And
same.
Halo 2.
Mm-hmm.
Halo 2 and 3. Mostly 3.
Yeah.
But that was...
Yeah. Halo 2 was my first shooter because we had it installed on every computer in the school.
I was going to say, that was the first one to do that,
Yeah.
Because Combat Evolved, I don't think, ever had a port for PC.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Before I started playing. Then the 360 was the first Xbox that I owned.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Halo
2 is such a great game.
Halo 3 was really fun. I played a ton of that.
Oh my god, I know.
I'm the best sticky thrower I know.
Yeah, so was I. Yeah. I was the best
That's a challenge.
sniper that I know. But
Okay.
Yeah, we could do it now. We're both going to be terrible.
Oh, yeah,
now.
definitely.
I mean, that's the sad part. We remember being good, but we're not.
Nope. Kids these days.
I know, kids these days, exactly. You can't go and build a wall to protect yourself with some Fortnite.
Gross.
Shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for those who don't know, I don't like Fortnite.
Yo, they're in some stuff right now. The whole Apple lawsuit.
Oh yeah, I know about
you
that.
been up with that?
Yeah, I know about that because of work.
Right. They lost so much money.
I know. Anyways.
Yeah.
But
what else other than video games?
Other than video games, for hobbies, I mean, it's painting. I'm a pretty avid painter. Not like artistry. I'd say like I would never call myself an artist, but I paint for tabletop miniature games. We both play tabletop RPGs, like Dungeons and Dragons.
I used to, but my DM quit.
I did not quit. I quit a little bit to pursue other ventures. No. That's another thing. Like another little backstory about me is that I early on got addicted to the artwork from Games Workshop's Warhammer 40,000.
Yeah,
and I mean, like So I love Star Wars, right? I love Star Trek. Sci-fi fantasy is great, but when you see it that grim dark, and you see the imagery for it,
it's totally a different take.
It's so different.
Yeah.
And then just like the interesting backstory of it, and finding out that this one particular IP has an ocean's worth of lore that is an ocean's depth worth of content.
Okay.
It really is.
I did not know it was that deep when it came to Warhammer.
I had to look it up earlier because I knew we were going to be talking about this.
Yeah.
Warhammer's been out since 1987.
87.
Yes. And it wasn't originally called Warhammer. It was called Rogue Trader.
Okay.
Because Games Workshop had another game called Warhammer out. It was Warhammer Fantasy.
Okay.
And it was mostly like a Dungeons and Dragons type game. And then it became more of a battle simulator, like a tabletop combat battle simulator. That's what Warhammer 40,000 was going to be. So Rogue Trader is what they called it. Evolved into Warhammer 40,000.
Okay.
And their second edition. They renamed it and changed all the lore. And then when they did that, they created something called the Black Library, which writes all these books.
Okay.
And all these books. And all these books.
Yeah.
Like, if they have, like, that's one of their smartest things they ever did, is they created the Black Library for lore, but also it's a way that you can buy their books from them. And if you like a certain aspect of that hobby, there's a book, there's something in the book series.
Dive into it.
Yeah. If you like one particular faction, have at it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But
that is deep.
Oh, it's so deep.
Yeah.
But that's just one aspect of it. Like for me, my favorite part is the hobby part. And it's not just them either. It's painting miniatures in general.
Sure.
But mostly like right now I'm painting Warhammer 40K stuff.
Sure.
I have my own huge Space Marine army. I wish I had some pictures we could show you.
I'll pull them up. And
we could
cut them into the video.
But like, I'm actually getting more into more competition stuff.
Okay.
Like a couple nights ago, I ordered a particular miniature from another company that I'm gonna try to do in a virtual contest, just to do it.
Okay.
I don't care if I win or anything. I just want to do it.
Sure. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I've been painting more and more stuff that's not just a Space Marine.
Do they have any cool, like you mentioned the Gundams before? I know they are. I know there's like models.
Yeah,
but they're like paintable, like cool ones.
Not that I've found. So the big thing about that type of gaming is it's huge everywhere except Japan.
Okay.
So Japan, because Japan has had their modeling stuff for about as long, they have them all pre-painted and stuff like that, and they cost more per model. Sure. I think it's like $80 for.
I know some of them are pretty high up there.
Yeah,
a couple of our friends.
They're like
a few.
What, a 1/16th model, like one size model.
16th or 8th, maybe.
Yeah. Everything I deal with is 32 millimeter.
Yeah.
So it's that big.
Right.
But yeah, no, they're expensive, and I mean, what I get is usually a set of 10 or a set of 5 or whatever. I did recently just buy a big box set, which you came with me to go get, and that was
big box.
72 miniatures, and only 39 of them got painted.
Okay,
because the other ones are for a different faction. I don't plan on paying.
Don't care too much.
Yeah. For anybody wondering, I paint mostly Space Marines, and this big box set came with Necrons, and Necrons are like your metal zombies, I guess.
I didn't read that book. I don't know.
I really don't know much about Necrons, to be honest. Yeah. So, but I mean, cool. that's my other big hobby right now is just painting.
Sure.
It's just a nice thing to do. I just sit for hours at a time, and at my desk, I have my own hobby desk.
Yeah.
We'll put pictures above that too.
You used to have it in the closet.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything used to be in a closet. Now it's all out, and I just sit, and paint like you play games or whatever.
Totally.
I'll listen to like audiobook or music. I mean, listen to mostly music a lot.
Yeah.
And then just go away. Or go at it, excuse me. Just leave. Just leave, yeah. No, just go at it and paint it up.
Yeah.
I love doing it.
Yeah.
I don't even know why. Like, I never had an interest in the actual artistry design. I can't draw. I can draw stick figures.
Sure.
But when it came to painting on a model, it just clicked, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to that. You get to put yourself into it, but you don't necessarily have to focus and think real hard. You can kind of just let yourself do it.
Yeah,
exactly. Especially when you're good at it.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and I mean, like, we'll get pictures of the first miniature I ever painted was a bear. It was a bear for Dungeons and Dragons. That's why that's how I got into the actual painting side.
Yeah,
is I was running a 5th edition storyline, and I needed miniatures.
Best story.
Oh, it's the best.
God.
Well, we need to talk about that one day.
Oh, definitely.
We'll just do a whole episode of that.
Oh, absolutely. A couple hours on that one.
Yeah, we'll bring in somebody else to talk about it with us.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to bring in somebody else for sure.
Yeah.
But I needed.
We could have the whole group. That'd be super dope.
Oh, get the guys back together. We could do that.
We totally could.
Yeah.
Banking that one.
Yeah, gotta bank that. Write that in our notes over here. But I as for a necessity, needed to paint. So I found these, there's this company called Reaper Miniatures. They had these 2 kits, and I didn't know the difference between either of them. And at this day, I really still don't know the difference between the 2 of them. I'm sure if I were to really look at them and kind of figure it out, I could go, okay. But one was I now know, actually, now that I think about it, one's a more base kit, one's a more advanced kit.
Sure.
I didn't know, but I had both of them, and they came with their own minis, and then I bought some more minis. And Reaper, that same company, makes what they call their bone series, which is, I mean, that's what it is. It's bare bones, resin cast,
right?
Very cheap miniatures that the archer has a bow that's bent this way.
Yeah.
But I mean, just for a couple hours one night, me and 2 other friends painted minis, and then I was like, you know what? This bear don't look half bad. I'm gonna go on to this wizard.
Sure.
Painted the wizard. I'm like, man, that wizard doesn't look half bad. I need to paint my villain. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do this. So I painted up. It was Strahd von Zarovich.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, he's not bad. I'll go on and do another one. I did I did this Copper Knight that you guys fought. I remember because he kept stun locking everybody.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I want to paint something that I like. I like Space Marines. So I ordered a $30 captain.
Yeah.
Their stuff is not cheap. But for individual characters,
It's a lot better quality though.
yes. I mean, you're dealing with some of the best quality for plastic miniatures. There are 3 different type of casting you can get. And so I got that and I was like, okay, this looks halfway decent. I got pictures of it somewhere, but I don't have that miniature anymore. No, because he got parted out because I dropped him on accident and it broke. Yeah. So his cape is for somebody else and his helmet's on someone else and his gun is sitting in a case of bits. But then I found out that same company made something called Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which is what Warhammer Fantasy evolved into.
Okay.
So I was like, well, hey, I can get some of these miniatures and we can use them for D&D.
Yeah.
So I bought a starter set of these guys called Stormcast Eternals, which are just armored looking dudes. And I was like, I could use these for bad guys. And I still have a lot of those minis, but I painted them in all different colors. And I started watching more and more videos on how to paint. And
yeah, you did.
Here I am now, a whole hobby in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't regret it.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's open for commission.
I actually am open for commission right now. I'm doing, well, I will be, because I'm actually working currently on a commission.
Okay. Right. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm working on just a small commission, but I am open for commission.
Totally.
I was at my local hobby store in Ocala, which we went to. And
Bearded Brown Coat. Shout
out Bearded Brown Coat. You guys are great. Like, every time I go in there, I'm always get a very I'm not saying this to just say it, but it's always a very friendly smile and hello.
Yeah, which is not to take for granted in a nerd store.
Yes. Yeah. I mean they call them flag stores, friendly local gaming shop.
Okay. That's nicer than nerd store.
Right. But like they definitely have the F in flag.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. It's a big store, lots of stuff. Like whatever hobby you're into, they probably have it.
Give them a free plug.
Yeah.
We're gonna give them a free plug. Yeah. I don't care.
For all 100 people that are watching.
Yeah, for the 5 people who are going to listen to this. But, no, I mean, like, every time I go in there, again, it's, hey, do you need help? They know I don't need help. Yeah. But it's always, if you need something, you let me know. And trust me, I will one day when I need help.
Yeah.
Because I know, I walk straight back to the paint stuff. And I do my same thing I do every time. I look for what I need, grab it, and then I just start walking this way to look at all the models that I want to buy but can't. Or wish they had sometimes.
Sure.
And then I look at like all because you can buy individual pieces. And I just look at like, I'm looking at like anything do I need or do I want, anything I want to paint. Usually no. I've been thinking about picking up some other stuff though. Like they have also there's believe it or not, there's a tabletop a tabletop role-playing game for World War II.
Okay, sure.
And for Star Wars.
I've seen a couple of different Star Wars.
The Star Wars one's new.
Yeah. Okay.
They have a lot of cool models out. I was thinking about getting like Luke and Darth Vader. They got Boba Fett. They got Jen Erso.
Okay.
That's the one that sticks out in my mind.
Because she's dope.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, no offense to Felicity Jones, but she died in that movie. Yeah, well. They have Orson Krennic in there too, and he died in that movie too.
Not the best bad guy.
No. Yeah. Definitely the best bad guy. But if you keep walking, they also have, I didn't know this, there's an Elder Scrolls one.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's a Song of Ice and Fire one too.
Really?
Yeah, okay. Actually, the Song of Ice and Fire miniatures are pretty cheap. I'm thinking about picking up a Lannister set just to do it.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to have.
I think it would be pretty cool to have. Yeah. Like, problem is like, how we're bunched in right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is the size of my desk.
Yeah.
And I have a shelf where everything's at right now, and that shelf is fucking full.
You need to unload
Space Marines.
Yeah, you need to unload or.
Yeah, I need the better storage is what I need, so I can show off my Lannister guard when I get them.
What do you do for? How do people keep their giant Space Marine armies?
They do sell expensive. You can find them on Amazon. Carrying cases.
I would think like buy a tackle box.
So, well, a lot of people use tackle boxes for their extra bits.
Sure.
Which is that's a whole other market itself. I'm not even joking.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It hadn't occurred to me.
I'm not ashamed to admit that I buy a lot of bits on eBay.
Oh, man.
I probably once a paycheck buy like $35 worth of bits.
Wow. Yeah.
Hey, they come in handy.
Sure.
What's wrong with me? Anyways, there's this one particular company, though. I can't remember the name. They sell tote cases for specific box sets, though.
Okay.
So, like, you know that box set that I bought?
Mm-hmm.
They would build. I'm not sure if they're going to because of how big that thing is. Yeah. A box set or a travel tote for that.
Okay. Right.
And they're very expensive.
Sure.
Honestly, some people are divided in how they carry their stuff. Some people don't care. Yeah. I care.
I mean, you don't want to break stuff.
Yeah, not only that, but painting that one swish of blue took 8 hours sometimes.
Right.
So, a good way to keep them organized or travel with them is like you buy a big tote. Yeah. And you get a piece of aluminum, or no, not aluminum, just a piece of steel, right? Very thin steel, something light. Yeah. And try to glue it onto the bottom of that tote. Right. And then you put magnets on each of the bases underneath the miniature. Sure. And then it magnetizes to that metal.
So does a real shallow tote. You do one layer of
exactly.
them. Yeah.
I have one that's set up like that, but the super glue I used did not stick well to the galvanized steel. That's what it was. Sure. And I have a bunch of blood angels hidden away somewhere that are all magnetized to that thing right now. Okay. I do have an army for sale if anybody is interested. Also,
we'll put a picture of that up too.
That's fine.
Yeah.
What about you, buddy? What about your hobbies? I know I'm talking a lot about myself. I'm sorry.
No, that's what we're doing today. So
you know what? This is our show. We could do it.
Yeah, and we don't have anybody else here to talk to. So
and I'm not doing anything for a while.
Let's see. My artistic outlet is photography.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have a pretty nice camera.
Yeah.
Despite the video quality of this particular webcast.
Not to interrupt you, but we need to put up some of your photography of my art. Yeah. Because we have that.
We do have that.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
And we should probably have more at this point.
I found my light box.
Did you?
Yes.
We will have more.
So, you know what we'll do next weekend maybe? Yeah. We'll just come together. We'll come over here and do it. Or you can come over and I can do it. And we'll just take pictures of stuff.
Totally. But yeah, that's my, outlet. I do mostly like wildlife and landscape just because it's easy and I don't need any models.
Sure.
But when the family gets together or whatever, I'll take some photos too, which is it's pretty cool.
I like all the photos of your dogs.
Yeah. They do some wily stuff.
Yes.
Makes it some interesting photos. For sure.
I'm trying to think of a favorite of mine. You have a lot of good ones. Yeah. Your dog Friday.
She's a nut.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
She's got definitely some good photos of her though.
Some of my favorites are like when she goes to get the ball after I throw it.
Yeah.
But she can never catch the
ball. Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of great photos of her like midair trying to catch a ball and it's over here.
What kind of equipment do you use?
For photography.
Yeah.
I have a Sony mirrorless camera. It's the A7 II, which is a full frame camera. So good image quality, low light and stuff.
Sony, if you're listening, we like your stuff.
Totally.
Well, I like it. That's
I could use the A7 III upgrade with the eye autofocus. That would be amazing.
The lens we're looking at right now, for sure. It's up on the screen.
I don't have anything that nice.
I know.
Yeah. Some new lenses would be dope, but good ones are.
That blew my mind when we worked in the same department, which also encompassed cameras.
Right.
Going back to our jobs and seeing the price of lenses.
Yeah, some of it's crazy, and people come in not all the time, but often enough to look for cameras.
And we don't carry it.
Not very many in this area, which is sad.
Yeah.
There's a Canon, not to get too off topic, but there's a Canon like specific VPL roll.
I know.
And there's a store in Orlando hiring one. I'm thinking about it, actually. Yeah.
Well, I've been in that. Is it the East Colonial store?
Millennium Mall.
Oh, Millennium Mall. Okay, never mind. I know that the Millennium Mall has a full counter of like a walk behind counter.
They have some pretty cool setups at some of the stores from what I've seen.
West side of Wesley Chapel.
That's right before you get to Tampa, I think.
It's not that one then. It's West.
I could be way off.
West Tampa, I think.
Yeah.
They have a really nice DI department. Mm. Yeah, I've been in that store a couple of times.
Yeah. So I mean, I'd like to branch into that, but it's just all expensive.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's more expensive than my hobby.
Yeah.
Which is
so I'm
expensive.
available for hire too, and I could use some new lenses.
And
so.
I recommend him. He's got my recommendation.
Yeah. I don't know. That's the biggest one for me.
Yeah.
If I'm not playing a game or watching one of the same 5 movies I always watch.
Yeah, you're not a movie guy, whereas I am.
I mean, I like movies. I just don't see enough of them.
Well, you're to go down to your little thing. Your 5 movies. You have a Will Ferrell collection, which I can only imagine is. Yeah. That's Step Brothers. Well, I don't want to look.
All right, go ahead.
Step Brothers, Old School, and Talladega Nights.
You got 2 of the 3. It's the other guys.
Oh,
Talladega Nights.
Okay,
and
so it's
Step
not
Brothers.
the rated R stuff then. Yeah. Where did you find this?
Okay, so back in El Paso, right? We have this place, or we did. It was called the Media Exchange.
Oh yeah, they're like the video news. Yeah.
It was when
there's only one movie in here. Oh, do they stack?
I think they do.
Oh wow.
But I don't know if they're all in there. Yeah.
No, no. There's only 2.
I'd be surprised. Who uses DVDs anymore, man?
I do.
I have 7 over there.
I collect media. I love how you and I differ so much. I don't like little shit like that.
Yeah, but we have this place called Media Exchange.
Oh, you have Friday. I just realized that.
I do have Friday.
Oh, that's next Friday.
I have Friday too. I might not have the box for it anymore.
And Dark Crystal.
This is weird.
The Wall.
The Wall.
I know what The Wall is.
Yeah.
I forgot that they had a DVD version of that. It's like a dystopia.
It's a really weird movie.
Yeah. Good album, but wow, weird movie.
Totally. What do you expect, maybe?
Bands maybe shouldn't make movies? I don't know.
The Beatles did it good.
Yeah, but that was an acid trip. Come on.
Exactly.
Yellow Submarine,
exactly.
Right? Okay, I was gonna say.
Oh, man.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
I'm trying to do well. Did you build that?
I did build that. That's
cool.
The one Lego set I've ever put together properly. And I forget the name of that ship.
I was going to say, because...
It's from Star Wars, obviously, but I do not remember what set that is.
And that's a stormtrooper in there.
It is. It came with the set, and so did that other alien guy that I don't know the race of.
I can't remember the name of the race. I used to know a lot of the stuff. Devin, our friend Devin could tell you who that is. Or tell you what it is, anyways.
I don't know if you know, Lego Millennium Falcon.
I do know because we were going to build that years ago.
Yeah, still in the box.
We can do that now.
We can.
Because you have a proper
I have
apartment.
place to put it.
Yeah, we could display it right there.
Totally.
We'd have to move the Dragonite.
Yeah.
Sean has an obsession with Dragonites.
I will collect anything Dragonite that you own. I will buy it from you.
So it's an unhealthy obsession with Dragonites.
Actually, as a kid, I had, and there's a picture of it. You can vouch for it.
I saw it. I just saw it yesterday.
It's like a 3.5, 4 foot plus Dragonite.
Yeah.
That my parents got rid of, and I know, dude, so bad.
That's funny. My mom never got rid of any of that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
It was when we moved out west, because that was a weird move. We'll get into that some other time.
That's fine.
But I had one of those, so if anybody has one of those, I'll fucking buy it for way too much money.
I'm gonna go scour eBay tonight.
I have on probably a monthly basis for the last 2 or 3 years at least. So
I don't know if it's sad or understandable.
Both?
Both, yeah,
Both.
definitely
Yeah.
both. And then you have a Frieza pop for some weird reason.
The only pop. I
mean, like, pops are cool.
Yeah,
but I don't collect them.
It's not the kind of thing I would collect.
Yeah, we
Somebody
got a buddy
got that for me.
We got a buddy that collects pops religiously.
He's got too many.
But some of the ones he's got are great.
Sure.
He was showing me the other day. He's got all the Happy Gilmore ones.
Okay.
My favorite is the Chubs with half a hand.
Okay. Yeah.
Because apparently it's a Target exclusive.
Say that in parentheses.
Yeah. Missing fingers, I think. And then also Billy Madison. He's got the penguin, right? And then the penguin holding the drink.
Yeah.
I think that was also like a Target exclusive. There's a whole app for collectors.
I bet there is.
It's by Funko.
Remember Beanie Babies?
See, Beanie Babies burned red hot.
I didn't know that.
No,
okay.
No. Like, it's okay. No, the collection part burned red hot.
Totally.
for like what, 2 years?
A few years.
Pop's been out longer than that.
That's fair.
Yeah, because I remember my first Funko I bought was Ned Stark.
Okay.
At a GameStop again.
Yeah.
I bought actually a couple. I bought because I thought they were gonna be worth something. I didn't took them out of the box though.
Sure.
Like an idiot. Apparently, not supposed to do that. But I had Ned Stark.
Yeah.
I had Master Chief from Halo 4.
Mm-hmm.
I had Jaime Lannister, who is still my favorite character in Game of Thrones, believe it or not. Then I had Jon Snow.
Okay.
And I think that was it.
Yeah.
Mostly Game of Thrones ones.
We live in the collectible era now, though. Like people.
I think collectible era has always been a thing, though. Not now. It's always been an era.
Yeah, I guess.
Mark Hamill had a whole podcast on just collectibles.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
not just Star Wars collectibles,
right, yeah.
but I mean like toys in general.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my Pokemon card collection's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
For those who, again, know us and don't know us, I try to get into Pokemon for a while, but I did it mostly because I liked hanging out with you.
Sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a great and fun game, and I had a lot of fun playing it, but it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to pay for some cardboard, but
yes,
I'm pretty sure my collection's worth more than I ever paid for it.
That's true,
You could say the same.
I could say the same, because I didn't buy a whole lot.
Right.
But my return was pretty good.
You got pretty lucky a couple times.
Once.
Yeah, one big time.
One big time. One.
Oh, Charizard, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say Charizard. Yeah, it's funny when I tell people, I have a little cousin whose name's Evan as well.
Yeah.
He will get a shout out this episode.
Little Evan.
Yep. He's a good kid. And he saw that I had because he was helping us move the other day.
Okay, sure.
Move some stuff out. I'm sorry, not move some stuff out of a garage.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw that I had a collection of Pokemon stuff in there. And actually, it wasn't the collection; it was the bag I was going to put the collection in.
Okay.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I took all that stuff out early on. But he asked, "Well, what is that for?" And I was like, "Oh, it's And I opened it up, and it had all the little holders and stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, he's like, "Did you ever have a Charizard, like an expensive Charizard?" And I was like. It's like, as a matter of fact, yes, I do. Funny story you should ask, because that whole day was a weird fucking day.
Vlad,
I know. I hope he watches this and knows that he was a weird kid.
Yeah.
Don't come kill us. But anyways.
Very stereotypical.
Oh my god, yeah. To the people at that particular store, get some Febreze. It was a very much so a neckbeard store.
Oh, yeah.
Brown coat. That place smells great whenever you walk in there.
It does.
This place always smelled like tuna sandwiches and BO. A typical nerd store. Yeah,
it's weird because it's a bigger store that has more traffic. I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
by a lot.
It was weird too because it was all tables. Like that store was meant for
all they do is events, tournaments and stuff. Yeah,
that place smelled so bad.
It does.
But not to get off topic. We went down there with a couple friends for a new. It was a Sun and Moon. One of their releases.
Not the base set.
Yeah, not the base. It's like the third or fourth set in for Sun and Moon, and I pulled the. Hyper rare Charizard for that one set, and it's still pretty profitable.
Couple $100.
Yeah, 200 some bucks. I think last time I checked. Yeah. So I got lucky once.
Yep.
Yeah, the first time I ever bought a big booster pack.
Booster box.
What's that?
Booster box.
Excuse me. Yeah. I kind of got fucked out of that.
Yeah.
At least I was told I did. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, luck of the draw. It happens.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. I know. That's why I don't like doing that shit anymore.
That's fair. Save a lot more money if you just buy the cards you need.
It's funny you say that because I did do that too.
Yeah.
And I built a pretty good deck around it. I felt
sure.
My Umbreon deck.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny to tie that back into Warhammer.
Yeah.
Warhammer did something similar to that about a year or so ago.
Booster packs?
Not booster packs, no, but whatever you want to call it, like a surprise model. You know?
Okay.
And you had to buy the.
That's a booster pack.
Yeah, booster pack. You could buy the booster box too. Actually,
sure.
That didn't guarantee all of them though.
Of course,
but
can't do that.
I did build a very nice Terminator squad around them because they were all Terminators.
Huh.
We'll throw out pictures of them
Sure.
on there. But there is one particular miniature from that box you can only get from buying the intro set. See, they built this actually specifically for the Japanese market.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to get the Japanese market more involved. But again, like I was saying earlier, it just didn't work out for them because they have their own kind of stuff. They don't want that stuff. They don't want grim dark.
Sure.
You know, so they sold it here in the U.S. and predominantly in Europe because they're a UK based company. Everything, believe it or not, everything is made in the UK over there.
Really? Okay.
All their stuff's made in the UK. But when it finally came to the U.S., they had this one particular starter box, and that starter box came with the rare miniature, which is it's a Terminator, which is a big, bulky space marine holding a banner. They're called the Terminator Ancient.
All right.
If you want to buy that guy individually on eBay, he goes for over $100.
Okay.
And I'm not paying that. I've paid a lot of money that I will admit I've paid like probably $70 for one miniature.
Is that Tiamat? How much was that?
No, Tiamat was actually not that much. She's fluctuated over time.
Sure.
I actually still owe you money for that.
Probably.
Yeah, because you helped pay for that. I think she was like $80. So no, I think she was the most expensive miniature. Sure. But she was pre-painted.
Right. You just...
Yeah. But I think the most I ever paid for a non-painted assembled model was $70. Okay. That's for my... And we'll throw this one up on the picture on the screen too. He is a Primaris Space Marine captain with plasma pistol and power fist.
All right.
He's a, I think he's either the 30-year edition something. He's a special edition model. That's why he's so expensive. Sure. You can only get him at Games Workshop, stores, which there are only one around us. In Florida. There's only like 3. It's in Orlando, yeah. So
you ever been?
Yeah, you went with me. Yes.
I don't remember this.
It's when our D&D group went to Ren Fair. Or not Ren Fair, excuse me, Medieval Times. We stopped at that store.
Yep. Indeed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But they only sold them during a special release, and you could only go there and get it. You can't get it at like a flag store. Sure. So yeah, I paid a lot of money for that miniature, and I actually painted him twice. I painted him once in the style of the box art, which you have pictures of that. And then I painted him again because I stripped him and put him in my army. Okay. So he's actually, that particular model is my favorite character. He's got a name. He's got a company, second company. Nice. I'm not going to tell you his name because it's embarrassing. Should I be embarrassed? Fuck it. Nah. Sorry, I'm coffee. Yeah, that's the most I think I've spent. I would not spend $100 on a model. I can't justify it.
I've spent more than that on a 2x3 piece of cardboard before.
Can I guess what it was?
Yeah.
Lele?
Oh shit. No.
No?
I don't think any of those were more than $80.
Because I know those were game changer cards.
Yeah.
In the meta.
I paid at least $80 for my Full Iron Shamans.
Oh, that's what what I was thinking was the Shamans. Yeah. Because you had 4 of those, didn't you?
Eventually, I only bought 2.
And then your Ultra Balls too. Yeah. You paid a lot of money for those Ultra Balls.
Over $100
for 4, right?
Yeah.
Because you can only have 4 in a deck.
Right.
Yeah. See, I remember a little bit.
Those got stolen.
Oh,
as part of
that's
that.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to hug you right now because I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
A year or so.
Yeah.
Sean's truck got broken into at our place of business.
Yep.
And they stole his good battle deck.
Yeah.
His Switch. And the Switch he had just bought and was going to give to his girlfriend for Christmas.
It was an expensive fucking night.
At least it wasn't your camera.
At least it wasn't my
camera. And your computer.
It was almost my camera.
And computer. Oh, you didn't bring your computer that day, did you?
No, or my camera.
But you had your camera with you. Yeah, because we were...
I didn't have it that night.
I thought you brought it in.
I was gonna bring it, but I didn't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you had brought it in. That happened like right after I left that party. Mm-hmm. It was a Christmas party for work.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
Big time.
I still feel bad for you.
It fucking blows. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Buy those cards again.
Yeah. Because you have better insurance on your car. They would pay you out for that now.
They would.
They'd probably.
I made sure to do that.
Yeah, no. They would probably say, "Who the hell would spend money on Pokemon cards like that?" But
yeah, I wouldn't want to tell my adjuster about it. But
I think about that now too because you and I bought cars around the same time.
Yeah.
Now we pay more money in insurance.
I pay less money in insurance for more insurance.
Really?
Yeah. I guess it was that expensive because I had a truck.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
I agree.
Because I had a Jeep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think. I paid $49 a month for that Jeep.
I
pay $175 now for my Equinox.
I went from like 125 for my truck. But this was after like 5 years of never complaining about my rates. So they just kind of kept climbing.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't doing anything about it. I pay $100 a month now.
I don't know how you pay so much less.
Me either, but I'm not going to question it.
I mean, like, I got one ticket in the last 5 years.
I don't have any over the last 5 years, but I have some nasty ones before that.
But that one ticket was for oh man, it was like not even that. It's like 11 over.
Okay.
No, not even that.
No,
it was like maybe 8 over or something like that.
Yeah, both of my speeding tickets were pretty big.
In the school zone.
No. But I was doing 88 and a 60.
Ooh, yeah, that you can go to jail for that in Florida.
Oh, really?
25 over.
It's 30 where I was living.
Oh, was it? Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
But the cop was pretty cool. He's like, "Hey, you got the high school for the day." Yeah, you dick.
I did get pulled over in a school zone on a Sunday. Oh, luckily.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was right here on this road.
Sure.
Going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was running late. And what does it matter where we work? Because if you run late by a few minutes, nobody cares. Especially if you're... That's the one thing I do like about where we work is like, as long as you're consistent and you're running a few minutes late and you're never late, and nobody makes a big deal. Yeah. They'll maybe call you and say, "Hey, is everything okay?"
Sure.
So...
Which I appreciate. So.
I appreciate that too.
Yeah.
You know what else I appreciate though? I really appreciate you.
Oh, stop.
I think on that we should probably, I don't know, you want to keep going or?
I don't too much else.
Where are we at right now?
An hour and a half.
Yeah.
Well, probably a little less because we started recording a few minutes early. But I feel pretty good about it.
Episode 0?
Episode 0. Yes.
Yeah, like real men.
Yeah. What do you think? Next Sunday?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I'm good on Sundays.
Might as well make it a weekly thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
So we're gonna do a few plugs now. Yeah. Wherever your social media is, you will find
Bardic Beards.
The Bardic Beards, yes. Yeah. That's what it is. It's at the Bardic Beards on Twitter.
Yep.
Instagram too?
Instagram too.
See, I'm not subscribed to these yet.
Yeah, me. Will be before this goes live.
That's right. No, after this, we are going to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Is our website up yet?
We do not currently have a website, but we will. BardicBeards.com.
I think it's going to mostly encompass just stuff we've been talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And links to our social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, if people really do listen, I know we joke, but I mean, if, somebody wants us to talk about a topic, I don't mind talking about shit.
By all means. Yeah. We might not know that much about it.
Yeah.
if it's not what we talked about tonight.
I know a little bit about a lot of things.
Same.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about movies from the 50s that I've never seen. Or,
sure. I've heard references to them, I'm sure.
Yeah, or a video game that I've never heard of, or an anime that I don't watch because I don't watch much anime.
Between the two of us, we probably know enough about it.
Yeah. And we can explain it to each other.
Sure. That's going to be a lot of what this is, I think.
I feel like that's what we do on a daily basis anyway.
It's
not
true.
Explaining something to you.
That's one of the cool things about it, though.
Yeah. That's why we like each other, I think.
Friendship.
So
we'll have people on, of course.
What's that?
And we'll have people on.
Oh, yeah, we'll have people on. Yeah. Definitely have our friends on. I know one of our friends wants to be on for sure.
Yeah.
But I figured we'd do this one, knock this one out, and see how it feels first.
Totally. Get our feet wet.
Yeah. We need to get another chair in here, though.
We are going to have to thoroughly explore the layout because this is just something we kind of threw together last minute.
Yeah, we can figure this out.
This works for a streaming setup, but it's not
great. Yeah, no, not for this. This was definitely last minute. That's why we're so close together.
Yeah.
We didn't drift apart, though, at all. I didn't move. Yeah. I just moved to grab my coffee,
there you go.
Which is still cold. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be cold, but it's still like not watered down.
There you go.
I make some people don't know another little tidbit about me. Pretty good barista.
Sad but true. I'd be more embarrassed of that than my minis.
I'm not embarrassed. It takes a lot to make me embarrassed.
Yeah.
Not really. Where can I find you at though?
Oh, personally?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll put them up on screen now because I don't social media all that much, and I
Neither
don't
do
even
I.
know my Twitter handles.
I will say mine though. You can find me at Mr_Bishop on Twitter, and actually I'm a part of another podcast, which I'm gonna plug. It's the Wild Endeavors podcast. It's at Wild Endeavors on Twitter, and it's mostly a what we call an actual play podcast, where it's you hear an audio drama of us playing basically.
Mm-hmm.
Our DM puts in some sound effects of us rolling dice because we do roll dice, but we don't actually play with each other. I play online. Yeah, it's all virtual. So you'll hear that. So you'll hear some of the role playing, and you'll hear a lot of. I mean, all of it's role playing. Mm-hmm. But some sound effects he adds. He had some good sound effects to this. Yeah,
I've listened to an episode or two, and never really followed it. But
I think right now we're so it's funny. All of our episodes are recorded.
Yeah.
Because he started recording preemptively to us doing a podcast, mm-hmm. and right now we're still about 50 episodes before we end. Yeah, because that campaign that's on there now is done.
Okay, right.
Yeah, not to spoil anything,
but
it's done. Yes, I'm not gonna say how it went either way.
Yeah,
but we still play. We try to play every other week. Mm-hmm. It's hard.
Yeah,
just because some of my my friends that I play with, they're actual adults,
right?
With actual jobs,
kids and stuff.
Only one of them has a kid. Yeah. I'm actually not the youngest, which is the funny thing. Yeah, but no, all good people. I love all of them. I've known them all for most of them. Yeah, you've met all of them. Yeah, except one.
Yeah, I met him virtually. So
you met the one virtually. Yeah. So yeah, Wild Endeavors. That's every Wednesday, new episode.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna plug that.
Very cool. I have different social media links for the different endeavors that I'm in, so they'll all be up on
we're gonna put them all up on the screen.
And in the description, of course. Mm-hmm. And on that note, subscribe too, because next week, if we can get everything set up well, this is gonna be live.
Yes, this will be live, actually.
And,
so you get to actually see the fly that was buzzing around earlier.
Oh, it was the worst.
It disappeared after we started.
Thank God.
Yeah, because that would have bothered me really bad.
All right, bud. I think that's it.
We did it. We did it.
Right on.
All right.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.